What's up, Dub Nation? Welcome to the channel. Today, we have some hot news about the Golden State Warriors that you can't miss. So go ahead and drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any videos. Let's get into today's topic. The Golden State Warriors have been on an impressive run since the arrival of Jimmy Butler. The team moved from the 11th spot in the Western Conference to 6th place, establishing itself as a real playoff threat. However, even with Butler's positive impact, rumors of a potential trade for Kevin Durant have not disappeared. According to Dwayne Rankin of the Arizona Republic, there is growing interest from the Phoenix Suns in trading Durant during the offseason if the team fails to make significant progress in the postseason. A potential trade between the Suns and Warriors involving Durant and Butler has been mentioned as one of the most viable options, especially since both teams showed interest in deals involving these players before the trade deadline. For Golden State, the decision will depend on the team's performance with Butler. So far, the trade has been extremely positive. The team has won 12 of the 13 games played with him and is on a 5-game winning streak. This turnaround has not only boosted the squad's morale, but also reinforced the idea that Butler might be the missing piece to keep the team competitive alongside Stephen Curry. Butler's arrival at the Warriors has also been beneficial for the player himself. He originally showed interest in transferring to the Phoenix Suns due to owner Matt Ishbia's willingness to pay what he wanted. However, upon joining Golden State, Butler received a 2-year extension worth $112 million, ensuring financial stability through the 2026-27 season. As a result, he has regained his motivation and love for the game, something he had lost during his time with the Miami Heat, where he didn't feel as valued as he expected. In his last game, a 130-120 win over the Portland Trail Blazers, Butler recorded his first triple-double in a Warriors jersey. With 15 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, along with 3 steals and just 1 turnover, he became one of the fastest players in franchise history to achieve this milestone. According to Stat Mamba, Butler was the quickest Warriors player to record a triple-double since Rick Barry in 1972, when the former star accomplished the feat in just 9 games. Despite his outstanding performance on the court, Butler made sure to acknowledge his teammates. "You don't get a triple-double without your teammates. That's a fact. If they miss a shot and you grab the rebound, or if they make it after your pass, it all counts," he said after the game. At the end of the day, a triple-double is just a stat. Winning is what really matters. His teammates and the coaching staff have also praised his influence both on and off the court. Butler has quickly become a crucial part of the team's locker room dynamic, acting as a leader and helping create a positive environment. "They let me be who I am," Butler said. "They want me here, so I'm happy to be here." The chemistry within the team has been evident, and Butler's impact is reminiscent of his early days with the Miami Heat, when he led the team to 2 NBA Finals appearances and 3 conference finals. The Warriors' strong performance since his arrival has been so solid that other teams around the league, including the Suns, are reevaluating their strategies for the upcoming season. Phoenix, which had previously attempted to acquire Butler before the trade deadline, is now closely monitoring the Warriors' trajectory. If Golden State's season ends in disappointment, the Suns could revisit trade discussions. However, if Butler continues to thrive and the team succeeds in the playoffs, a trade may become less likely. If the Suns are unable to include Butler in a deal, they might opt to recover some of the assets they spent to acquire Durant. Journalist Dwayne Rankin noted that Phoenix's ideal return would be 3 first-round picks and a young talent in a multi-team trade. The Suns paid a high price to acquire Durant, giving up 4 first-round picks, a pick swap, as well as Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. Currently, most of those picks belong to the Houston Rockets, who could become one of the teams interested in trading for Durant in the offseason. For the Warriors, a potential trade package for Durant could include 3 first-round picks and Jonathan Kuminga, who will become a restricted free agent at the end of the season. This scenario would put Golden State in a tricky position, with a strong core of Curry, Butler, and Durant, but limited flexibility to build a competitive supporting cast. Additionally, there's the matter of Durant himself and his feelings about trade discussions. Sources indicate that he was not pleased upon learning that the Phoenix Suns had included him in trade talks before the 2025 trade deadline. While he declined a move to the Warriors at the time, the situation could change in the offseason. Golden State was the most aggressive team in trying to bring Durant back during the last trade window, going as far as structuring a complex deal that would have involved multiple teams. The plan was to send Butler to Phoenix and bring Durant back to the Warriors, but the player chose to remain with the Suns at that moment. Despite that, Durant hasn't entirely ruled out a possible return. In an interview on the Draymond Green Show with Baron Davis, aired on February 26th, he hinted that he might reconsider his decision at the end of the season. "We just play the season, and if that's the decision they want to make in the offseason, then we figure out what to do," Durant said. "It's a big move to make, and I've been through this before. I thought, I don't know if this is really what I want." The fact that Durant is entering the final year of his original 4-year, $194 million contract, signed when he was still with the Brooklyn Nets, adds to the speculation about his future. His market value remains high, and the Warriors continue to keep an eye on opportunities to further strengthen their team to maximize Curry's remaining prime years. With the season entering its final stretch and the playoffs on the horizon, the situation involving the Warriors, Suns, Butler, and Durant is set to be one of the biggest storylines of the offseason. If Golden State maintains its upward trajectory, the trade may be off the table. But if disappointment strikes, the possibility of one last Durant-Curry reunion could regain momentum. With so many variables involved, the Golden State Warriors' offseason promises to be one of the most eventful in recent years. The meteoric rise of the team since the arrival of Jimmy Butler has created a new scenario, dispelling the uncertainties that surrounded the franchise a few months ago. However, the possibility of a trade for Kevin Durant still looms over the organization, raising questions about which path would be more advantageous: keeping Butler and building a roster around him and Stephen Curry, or betting on a reunion with Durant and taking on the financial and roster depth risks that would come with it. The Warriors' front office, known for being aggressive in the market, has already shown that it is not afraid to take risks. The team that dominated the NBA in recent years does not want to waste Curry's final elite years, and any move the organization makes will be focused on maximizing its chances of winning another title before an inevitable rebuild. The financial aspect also plays a crucial role in this equation. With new salary cap limits and the introduction of the second apron, stricter rules make it harder for high-spending teams like the Warriors to make big moves without compromising future flexibility. If the team decides to bring Durant back, the costs will be enormous, both in draft assets and in limitations when it comes to reinforcing the roster around its stars. On the other hand, there's the Butler factor. Since his arrival, he has proven that he is still an elite player and has fit perfectly into the Warriors' culture. His energy, leadership, and ability to take over games have been key factors in the team's resurgence. Additionally, his contract, although expensive, is shorter than Durant's, giving the Warriors a bit more control over the franchise's future. Meanwhile, in Arizona, the Suns are facing their own existential crisis. The heavy investment in Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal has not yielded the expected results. The theoretically unstoppable trio has struggled with injuries, lack of chemistry, and defensive issues that prevent the team from competing at the highest level. With an aging roster and few options to improve due to the number of assets sacrificed in the Durant trade, Phoenix may be forced to make tough decisions. Durant's potential departure would open the door for a new project in Phoenix, where the team could focus on rebuilding around Booker and seeking more balanced reinforcements to improve roster depth. If they can recover a good number of first-round picks, as expected, the franchise will have a bit more flexibility to make smart moves and pursue a more sustainable path. Durant, in turn, finds himself in a delicate position. Despite continuing to play at a high level, he knows that with each passing year, his window to compete for championships is shrinking. While he rejected the idea of returning to the Warriors before the trade deadline, his stance could change depending on how the season ends. If the Suns are eliminated early in the playoffs or show no clear path to contention, Durant may start considering other options. Durant's history with Golden State still carries weight. Even after his controversial departure and the constant comparisons with Curry, there is mutual respect between him and the franchise's key figures. Curry, who has always maintained a friendly stance toward Durant, could be a decisive factor if negotiations progress. Another element that could influence this decision is the role Durant would play on the Warriors. In his first stint, he arrived as the final piece for a team that was already a champion. Now, with Curry still being the undisputed leader and Butler proving his importance, the dynamic would be different. Durant would have to fit into an already established system and accept a possibly smaller role than he had with the Suns. The next few months will be crucial in determining the fate of both the Warriors and the Suns. If Golden State continues its rise and makes a deep playoff run, the front office may decide to keep the roster as is and bet on the chemistry built with Butler. But if there's an early elimination or signs that the team still needs another piece to compete with the West's best, the pursuit of Durant could be back on the table. For the Suns, the future depends on Durant's stance. If he signals that he wants to stay and believes in the team's project, the franchise could try to strengthen the roster around him. But if he shows any desire to leave, Phoenix will have to act quickly to recover assets and avoid losing the star without getting a good return. Regardless of what happens, one thing is certain: the NBA is always in motion, and the decisions made this offseason will have an impact not only on the Warriors and Suns, but on the entire league. The balance of power in the West could shift drastically depending on the fates of Durant and Butler, and the franchises involved know that any misstep could cost them years of competitiveness. Golden State stands at a crossroads. Keep Butler and solidify a new cycle of success, or risk everything to bring Durant back and try to dominate the league once again? That is the big question that will be answered in the coming months. Another factor that could directly influence this decision is the Warriors' front office's vision for the franchise's future. Stephen Curry is still one of the best players in the NBA, but the team needs to ensure that they are surrounding their star with the right roster to maximize their title chances. Keeping Jimmy Butler might be the most logical decision, especially considering the immediate impact he has had since his arrival. The team has found a new rhythm with him on the court, and his leadership has been a crucial factor in restructuring the locker room. On the other hand, the temptation to bring Kevin Durant back to the team is undeniable. He has already proven that he can elevate the team to an almost unbeatable level, and his on-court connection with Curry has always been a game-changer. But to make this happen, the Warriors would have to give up valuable assets, in addition to facing significant financial challenges due to the NBA's new salary cap rules. One important point is that Durant does not seem completely satisfied with his situation in Phoenix. Even though he is one of the most dominant players in the league, he has been dealing with uncertainties within the franchise. The project that was supposed to turn them into a true title contender has not worked out so far. Injuries and a lack of depth in the roster have hurt the team's performance, and if the season ends in an early playoff exit, it would not be surprising if Durant starts pushing for a change. The question remains: if Durant really decides to leave, should the Warriors give up their newly acquired stability to take this gamble once again? The fit between Curry and Butler is already working, and Durant would require some adjustments in the team's playing style. Additionally, there is the age factor. Butler and Durant are in the same age range, but Butler seems more comfortable playing a facilitator role alongside Curry, whereas Durant might demand more of the spotlight. The upside of a possible trade is that it would consolidate an elite trio with Curry, Durant, and Butler, one of the strongest in the league. But this would come at the cost of giving up young players and draft picks that could be crucial to keeping the team competitive in the long run. The front office will need to decide whether they want to go all in for the short term or take a more balanced approach. Another important detail is that Durant would have to accept this change voluntarily. During his appearance on the Draymond Green Show with Baron Davis podcast, he made it clear that he is open to evaluating his options in the offseason, but also indicated that he does not want to make any rushed decisions. This means that even if the Warriors are interested, everything will depend on Durant's own stance regarding his future. The NBA market has shown that there are no guarantees when it comes to superstars. Players who seemed untouchable are traded overnight, and franchises must be ready to react quickly to changes. In the Warriors' case, the central question is, should they keep Butler and continue with a project that has already proven functional, or risk everything for Durant and try to recreate the formula that took them to the top in the past? Beyond the technical and financial factors, there is also the emotional impact of this decision. Butler seems happy in Golden State, feeling valued and motivated to give his best. He has openly spoken about how the team welcomed him with open arms and allowed him to play the way he likes. Bringing in Durant would mean disrupting this environment and once again changing the team's identity, which could be a significant risk. Meanwhile, in Phoenix, the front office has already started exploring its options. If Durant expresses any desire to leave, their priority will be to recover as many assets as possible. The team sacrificed a lot to acquire him, and losing Durant without a good return would be a devastating blow to the franchise's future. A trade involving Durant would likely include multiple teams, as few have the necessary assets to make a direct deal. The Houston Rockets, for example, could enter this equation. They have several first-round picks that could be used in negotiations and are looking for a superstar to accelerate their rebuilding process. If the Suns decide to move on from Durant, they might try to involve him in a deal that also benefits Houston, sending assets to Phoenix while Durant heads to a new destination. The Warriors, on the other hand, have Jonathan Kuminga and some first-round picks that could be used to entice the Suns into making a deal. But is it worth giving up a talented young player like Kuminga to bring Durant back? That is a question the front office will have to answer before making any decision. No matter how this story unfolds, the impact will be felt across the NBA. If the Warriors decide to keep Butler and move forward with what they have, they could continue growing as one of the most dangerous teams in the league. If they choose to bring in Durant, they will be going all in on another super team cycle, but with financial and depth challenges to consider. As for the Suns, they must be careful not to jeopardize their future even further. If they decide to trade Durant, they must ensure that the return is strong enough to keep them competitive and not force them into a rebuild. With the NBA market becoming increasingly unpredictable, the coming months promise to be crucial in determining the future of these two franchises. Durant's fate could completely shift the balance of power in the Western Conference, and the Warriors find themselves at the center of this storm, ready to make a decision that could shape the team's future for years to come. The Golden State Warriors may be on the verge of making a move that could shake up the NBA and further expand their global fan base. Reports indicate that the franchise is interested in signing Filipino center Kai Sotto for the 2025 season. If this happens, it won't just be a strategic decision to strengthen the roster, but also a significant milestone in the history of the league and basketball in the Philippines. Standing at 7'2", 218 meters, Kai Sotto naturally stands out in any game. But it's not just his height that draws attention. What truly impresses is his combination of skills, making him a versatile and promising player for modern basketball. The NBA is increasingly favoring players who bring multiple options to the court, and that's exactly what Kai offers. On defense, he uses his wingspan and reaction time to efficiently protect the rim, making life much more difficult for opponents in the paint. On offense, he sets himself apart from traditional centers with his ability to shoot from mid-range, an increasingly valued skill in the league. The ability to space the floor and provide more offensive options makes Kai a valuable asset for any team, especially for a team like the Warriors, who have always excelled at maximizing versatile players. But Kai Sotto's story goes beyond his talent on the court. His journey is marked by challenges and achievements that inspire millions of fans, especially in the Philippines, where basketball is more than just a sport. It's a true national passion. From a very young age, Kai stood out in local basketball, gaining attention for his height and refined skills. However, he knew that to reach the highest level, he would need to step out of his comfort zone and seek bigger challenges. That's why he left his home country as a teenager to play in high-level leagues abroad. His first major international experience was in the NBL, Australia's professional basketball league, where he faced seasoned opponents and proved he had the ability to compete at a high level. Over time, Kai improved his game awareness and became an important piece in his team's defensive and offensive systems. He then moved to Japan's B League, where he continued his development and solidified his name as one of the league's top players. This experience was crucial for his growth both on and off the court. Facing different playing styles and adapting to new cultures helped Kai prepare for the next step in his career. The NBA. Kai Sotto's potential arrival at the Golden State Warriors wouldn't just be a technical addition to the team, but also a strategic move with significant global impact. The franchise already has a strong fan base in Asia, and signing one of the Philippines' biggest basketball talents would greatly strengthen that connection. The Bay Area, where the Warriors are based, is home to one of the largest Filipino communities outside the Philippines, meaning Kai's presence could create a new wave of engagement among local and global fans. Kai's impact on the Warriors would go beyond the court. He could become a true ambassador for Filipino basketball in the NBA, inspiring young players and drawing even more attention to the sport in his home country. His presence in the league could motivate a new generation of Filipino athletes to dream big and believe that reaching the highest level of world basketball is possible. Now, looking specifically at how Kai Sotto could fit into the Warriors' system, it's clear that he has attributes that align with the team's needs. Over the years, the Warriors have built their identity around fast-paced play, efficient ball movement, and high-precision shooting. However, one area the team has been looking to improve is its defensive presence in the paint. Kai could be exactly the missing piece to strengthen this aspect of the game. If signed, he could make an immediate impact on rim protection, something the Warriors haven't always had consistently in recent years. His height and wingspan would allow the team to have a player capable of contesting shots and making it difficult for opponents to drive to the basket. Additionally, his presence on the boards would help initiate fast breaks, which have always been a trademark of the team. On offense, his ability to shoot from mid-range and finish near the rim would add new options to the Warriors' offensive scheme. A center who can space the floor while also providing security in the paint could be a key piece in keeping the team competitive in an increasingly dynamic NBA. Another interesting aspect of Kai Sotto's potential arrival at the Warriors is the marketing and brand expansion factor. The NBA already has a strong global appeal, and the Warriors are one of the most popular teams outside the United States. With Kai on the roster, the team could further expand its presence in Asia, attracting new fans and sponsors interested in the Filipino and Asian markets as a whole. The connection between Kai and Filipino fans wouldn't be just commercial, but also emotional. He represents something bigger than just a basketball player. He is a symbol of perseverance and overcoming obstacles for millions of fans. His journey serves as a reminder that with dedication and effort, any player can achieve their dreams, regardless of their background. Of course, transitioning to the NBA wouldn't be a simple process. The level of competition in the league is extremely high, and Kai would need to adapt quickly to the pace and demands of professional American basketball. However, if there's one thing he has already proven throughout his career, it's that he's willing to work hard and face any challenge that comes his way. Playing alongside experienced stars would help Kai accelerate his adaptation process. With guidance from veteran players and a high-level coaching environment, he could further develop his game and become an important piece for the team. Kai Sotto's potential arrival at the Golden State Warriors wouldn't just be a talent acquisition. It would be an event with global resonance. His impact on and off the court has the potential to transform the franchise and further elevate the NBA's popularity on the international stage. The move makes sense for both the Warriors and Kai. For the franchise, it presents a new opportunity to strengthen the roster and expand its global brand. For Kai, it would be the opportunity of a lifetime, the chance to showcase his value in the world's biggest basketball league and inspire millions of fans following his journey. This potential signing has all the ingredients to be one of the biggest moments of the next NBA season. Now, the question remains, Will the Warriors take this step and bring Kai Sotto to the Bay Area? So, Dub Nation, what do you think about this news? Leave your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on everything about the Warriors. Thanks, and see you in the next video.